Right, we're back on the Range Rover L322. We haven't done a lot of L322 stuff. So we're going to do a video today. We're going to show you how to fit paddle shifts on your Range Rover L322. So at the moment, you can obviously drive it in auto and that's all fine and good. You can also, if you're in drive and you push it over to the left, you can go up a gear by doing this and back a gear by doing that, and that's great. But you've got to take your hands off the wheel. And obviously, if you've got one of the newer cars and you've got used to the paddle shift, then paddle shift is a great accessory. So they did fit paddle shifts as an option from 2010 on. So you can physically get the paddle shifts and you can buy a steering wheel and you can retrofit the paddle shifts. So I've got it all laid out here. So the paddle shifts actually replace one of the rear spoke covers on the Range Rover L322 steering wheel. So if you look, you've got these what I call spokes, and then on the back you see we've removed the paddle shift, but on a standard non-paddle shift car you have a little plastic thing that fits in there and you can pull that out and then you can replace it. Right, so some clever kid who's way cleverer than me has designed this trickery. So we've got a black box that goes in the gear change, so down where your handbrake is and that does some trickery and actually changes gears. And then it talks wirelessly to this module here that is in the steering wheel. So he's got all this and he's made it all with connectors that just plug and play, so you don't need to cut any wires. I haven't worked out what that's for yet, but we'll find out as we do it. Again, we haven't done one of these yet, so he's sent me, I bought it, he didn't give it to me. I said no, I'm happy to buy it because it's way clever and he's got to earn money. So he's got these bits he sent us. You will need, in addition to that, you will need some paddle shifts, and hopefully that's all we need. So alright, Gary's helping me today. So the first thing we've got to do is remove the steering wheel. So we've already done a video for removing the steering wheel, so I'm going to leave Gary getting on with that while I go and have my lunch. And I'm going to put the link up here to removing the steering wheel, and if Gary has any problems he'll let me know, but hopefully following my video will be alright. And then we'll come back and perhaps we'll look at building up the steering wheel bit, getting that back on, and then we'll jump into getting in under here and connecting the other module in, and then at the end we'll take it out for a test drive. Right, let's go. So yeah, Gary's got the steering wheel off, so we've got that over here on the bench. Now we got a nice little foamy protective thing because I don't want to scratch my lovely super black piano steering wheel. So what we've got to do now is we've got to swap these paddle shifts onto the two, if I get it the right way. So we've got to get those onto there. So we've got to remove these back pieces, and you can see they got these little sort of, get it in the right, they got these little bits that go down here. I don't know what to call them, teeth, but they're pointing down. So we've got to get those old silver bits, have got to come up. Now there's a screw under here, so I'll have to remove this back plate. So first thing to do is we've got to undo the screws. If I recall correctly, these screws here in the corners go through into the back plate and they're quite tiny. So let me just get the thing for that. Okay, so it's a Torx T10. So you got, they're quite, yeah, you see they're long because they go through the thing there into the back case. Should all be the same. Yeah, they're all the same. Put those out of the way. Now we should be able to work from this side now. Yeah, so that then lifts off. We've got the heated thing is stuck in there. Let me get it out of the way. I think they're just on double-sided tape. Yeah, they're just double-sided tape. There's a little bit of plastic come off there. But yeah, it's just a little guide, but they're just double-sided taped in there. Right, now, so it's these straight spokes we've got to get off. So yeah, they're a bit of a pain to get off, as I recall. But you've got to sort of lift it up. Yeah. Don't get me gurning. He's coming. Okay, so you can see these little bits here. So you can see you want to sort of go up with it rather than the temptation. But it has got these little bits here that click it in as well. There's a little ramp there. They're cleverly designed. So that's the one. Now I'm a pro. There we go. So that's those two off. Right. So now these are quite interesting because they come. One of them comes with a loom. A little thing you got to press there to detach those. Yeah. So one of them comes with a loom and one of them comes just with a connector. Right. So we should be able to see which one is which. If we get it right. Yeah, that's sloping the wrong way at the bottom. There. Oh, the phone's got me. Sorry about that. Right. So, yeah, they should sort of guide themselves in a bit. You've got to make sure this wire's routed out the way. So I've got that routed out the way. And then it's a question of squeezing the two together and they should click into place. Have I got that one? Doesn't look like I've got it right, does it? This side's good. I don't know, it is, yeah, because they don't sit, because they bulge out, they don't sit like the old ones do.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah, that's what tricked me, yeah. No, so that's alright. The other ones sit flush,
yeah,
but that one bulges out. You're right, Gary.
Yeah, there's no gaps or anything down the side, so it is fitted.
Alright, and that one, I'm going to go... Get that cable in. Alright. Actually, they click on quite nice, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, and now put the backing plate on. Check my wires are happy. Put my backing plate on. Spin him over. Let's get those screws back in. And how are those wires looking now? Well, we'll sort those all out in a minute. Check we haven't got any of the wires caught in anything now. They all seem to be. Oh, wrong hole. Right, we got that there. Let's put the heated steering wheel bit back in, because that was getting a bit. Again, that's just on double-sided tape there, so that's fine. And these two, I'm pretty sure we're going to have to connect across here. Oh, hold on. No, I got the wrong one. I got the wrong one. There you go. Right, so that'll sit across there somewhere or other. Right, now we'll do this. So that is the mechanical build. Right, let me just read the instructions now, because now we need to get this bit installed in here. So let me just read how to do that. Right, so apparently they're saying that the best way to do it is to tuck this. I was a bit worried it didn't have any like heat shrink or anything around it. I mean, you could put a bit of insulation tape around it if you wanted. But they're saying that fits in snugly, apparently. And it seems to be happy enough there, doesn't it? I think that's going to be okay. And then we've got this, what they're calling the Y connector. Now, the female end of that end, goes in the white connector there. There you go, like so. And then that one is going to go into the slip ring. And then this one is going to go into the paddle shift connector, which is this one that we've got. Yeah, that one there, isn't it, Gary? Yeah, the blue one there. So I think we can put the steering. I think we're going to be better off putting the steering wheel back on now, Gary.
Right.
And then, because then we'll have to like hold that, plug those in, and then flip it all back on. Right, we'll jump back in the car. Right, so you join us back in the car. Gary's got the steering wheel back on, tightened up the steering wheel nut, got it at the same angle. He took it off, put the little connector in there into the slip ring. So we've got the paddle one to connect, and then we've got the one new one to, and the original one to go back into these other two on the slip ring. So it's going to be a bit tricky because Gary's got to sort of hold the airbag and do everything else. And we did put a bit of tape around that module, didn't we? We decided to put a bit of tape around it, just to keep it stuck out the way there a bit better and protect the components. Right, and Gary, go and have a go. It's not an easy one, this one. He's trying to balance it, so...
So this one...
That one goes on to that blue one, yeah. You give it a squid with. Right, that looks alright. Yeah. Right. Now you got to be careful you don't get any of these in the way.
No.
So you're gonna have to do a bit of tricky cable routing. Right, and then I think you need to sort of flip it up. Yeah, that blue one's easy because they're giving you a bit of extra length, and that black one's the tight one. You might. Yeah. Now what I would do, Gary, is I'd flip this up like a cat flap. Now look at the state of my jumper, covered in leaves, and then make sure all your cable routing under here is all good, because you've got these two big spikes that are going to go through into here. So you don't want anything. You don't want anything stopping this airbag because it gets quite close.
So you've got your heated thing here as well.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of. So let's see how we go. You just do what you think's the best way you can get. You got the heated connector to go on as well, yeah.
Yeah.
You got that in?
Yeah, that's in.
Was there a little hook for that to go around? I can't remember. I think one of them used to just nip into that side bit there. I think they put that little lug on the side for it to sort of jam it.
Yep.
Right, your little module's falling out the airbags. You have to tuck that back in. So this is going to be the tricky bit of it. And if it doesn't snap back in right, you're going to have to lift the airbag up a bit. If it's fighting you, well, you've got those springs to go against, so it will fight you a bit. But if it's not clicking on, you're going to have a bit of tidying up. I think I'll leave Gary just to check this out. Right, we got that all in. Make sure both sides of your airbag is located, are located. Bad grammar. Right, so Gary's got that done. We're all good there. Right, so that is the so that module there is actually a transmitter. That's a wireless transmitter. It's picked up the power supply there and it's connected to the paddle shifts. So now, in theory, when the ignition's on and you press a paddle shift, it is wirelessly transmitting. And it needs to go to this little module here, the other part of the circuit board. So we need to install this, and then that's going to emulate in here. It's going to pick it up wirelessly receiver, and then it's going to connect into the bit that would have been your changing up and down. So, right, first thing we've got to do is we've got to take out the gear knob. Now, he reckons you can, in the instructions he's written, he's reckon you can lift up that, take out the cup holder, which is clipped. Ours has been out like a million times. And then apparently if you lift up and rotate that, you can get to the purple connector. So you have to pull it forward a little bit. That's it. And then you can sort of rotate it. Yeah, that's it. Like that. And then you can get to the purple connector that is
down
the side there. But we're going to take it out because we're all for it, aren't we, Gary?
Yeah.
Right then, so, right, first thing we'll have to do is take out that, take out the gear. If you just squeeze it in at the sides, you can take out that little gear squirt. Oh, and then if you pull it up without knocking yourself in the face, that's good. Right, so what he did was just squidged in the sides of this little skirt. If you squeeze that in, you can release the skirt of the gator. That's the word, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Right then, and then lift that up. Thread that off and there's a series of connectors you've just got to go through there. Now they haven't got any tricky release pins, you've just got to pull them and just you'll gurn and make strange faces as you do it. There's no little release pins. That must be BMW, that. They just put a little wedge on there that proper tests your strength. Right, there you go. Now this last one, this little clip, make sure you do this when you put it back. It sits under, the connector sits under a little clip there. So slide it out from the clip probably. Don't pull on the wires too much if you can help it. Try and pull on the connector rather than the wires. There you go, well done Gary. So that's all out. Job done. Right. Now, it's not too hard. Right, gear handbrake. Let's have the handbrake out as well. So again, you've got to release the little gator trim by squidging it in the middle, and you can sort of pull the gator out. He's a bit squidgy in there, but he'll come. And then you slide it. Now, again, we've made it look easy. Now, I think on the original one, actually, Gary, you have to pull. You film me doing that. I've got another video, and if I remember, I'll put the link up top right side there that you can click on, because we've got one of our. Now, I think there's a little locating pin, so you have to pull this little skirt back off this ledge, and there's a little. You've got to get a little screwdriver and lift it up, and there's a little, and what it does, it locates in that little square hole there. See, Gary? So you have to like lever it up, and then you have to slide it up. So it won't come out as easy as Gary made it look there. Right, that's just a warning for you. Right, what are we on next, Gary? We've got to undo all the screws now, haven't we? Mm-hmm. So there's two little screws at the top where your cup holder was. Now, if you've got one of those ashtray things, I think I've done the video for that as well. It's a little more complicated. Now, all these six screws Gary's taking out now are all the same. So don't worry about remembering which one came out or where. And they all look the same. They all look like this here. They've sort of got the little flanged washer around them. Just finding out the focus. There we go. Is he fighting you, Gary?
Yeah.
He's not coming out. Is he just spinning away? Don't worry too much about him. He'll probably come out. We mustn't have got him back in correctly earlier. Well, he's dropped it. Don't drop them down there. Now he's going to have to get the magnet stick out now. Alright then. Oh, there we go. I got that one out, Gary. There you go. Right then. So, and then you can just release those top corners. Right, and then that whole assembly. Now there is a connector on the bottom of the ashtray. Well, there should be if we remember to put it back on. Yeah, there he is. And they just pull off. And they're different sizes, so you can't get them back on wrong, I don't think. That's it. Right, we can get that out of the way. Now, again, you might not need to, but I think for the video, we're going to do this. Right, so apparently... Oh, I've got my light here. Where's that purple connector gone? He is in the depths down there, isn't he? You can just see a little glimpse of him there. Now, he is in one a little locator, isn't he? So if you slide him to the side... He does come out. Now, I had to get pliers on that to get that out earlier.
Can you see it from... Might be able to see it
yeah. I got him. Oh. Right, well done. Right. So, that's... Now we're going... You're going to try and thread it back through this way now. He's... Proper need little fingers for this job.
There you go.
Right, so okay, yeah, I can see we've got both bits of the purple thing. Now, so now we need that new circuit board, don't we? Where it's on the chair here. Okay. So I reckon put the circuit board in there where we got loads of room, and then thread all the wires underneath as we need them. So the blue connector needs to go up onto one of those other ends of those purple ones, I reckon. Let me zoom out a bit, people can see. Can you route that all the way underneath the other bit as well?
Yeah,
I'm trying. Give him a break. Right then. So that should go through onto it's going to go onto the other one, isn't it? Yeah. That should be right. Yep. Right. And that goes neat. Right, and where's your other one, Gary? No, we should have another blue one, shouldn't we? Is he? There he is. I can see him rattling around. That's it. Pull it a bit more. Right, and then I reckon you can tuck all that. Now watch that fluted wire there, because we need to. Don't get it under that one. I'm trying to hold the light and careful of that on there.
Yeah.
I reckon put that on top. Do you see what I mean? Because yeah, Gary spotted a better way to route it to get it all neat. Yeah, I see what he's doing. He's got it worked out.
There you go. Like that.
Got it. And can you clip that purple connector back into its original clip as well? I don't want it rattling in my Range Rover.
There you go.
Ah, pro job. Right then, yeah, that's all neat and out the way, and yeah, that other connector's free. Right, we're nearly there. We're on the home straight, Gary. Right, so right now it's got the little yellow wire. Now look, let's show the camera, Gary, that little funny little. They've done some sort of 3D printed thing. Now it's got a sort of slope, and it's got a little contact, which is that's it, a little demo there, and that's a plunger. Now that has got a plunge against that little. Can you point out that little on the gear change? That little, yeah, that's it. It's got a contact with that when it's in a, so you have to mount it, and there's a little hole. Can you point? I can see the little hole. Yeah, point it out on this side. Yeah, that little brass ring there is a little hole, and we get a little nut and bolt. There you go. I'll put him up there out the way, and that's gonna go through. Now I guess if you could get the nut through yours, get the bolt through from your side, and have the nut on my side, that would be neater, wouldn't it, Gary? Yeah. So we'll try and get that in. There we go. Right, so we got that in. Right, that's cool. Now make sure that slope, there's a little slope on that plastic bit, is on the top. I'll come around the other end once Gary's got it bolted up, because we'll have to have a break and go and get the little... Apparently someone said on our videos the other day, Gary, it's so British, so I'm surprised it didn't stop for a cup of tea. Well, that's exactly what we're going to do just as soon as Gary's got this on. You're not a tea, you tea or coffee, Gary?
Neither.
Neither. Not a hot drink person.
Nah, for a cold refreshing beverage.
A cold refreshing beverage. Right. So that's that ready. Right. So we're going to have a little break now. Gary's going to tighten that up, and then I'll come back and show you what that 3D printed thing looks like on the other side. Then we've just got that positive to connect, haven't we, Gary? Other than putting it all back together. Right. I'm parched. I've got to have a cup of tea. So we've tightened up that little bolt there, so that's all nice and secure there. And in fact, can you just have a little look at it from your side, Gary? I did say I'd show people. We just had our cup of tea. I'm forgetting. You see how it sort of slopes away down there? Yeah?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so Gary's got all this neatly routed now. Now the only one we've now got to connect in, we've got the earth strap. We've got to get this one here in first. So I'm just going to cut that exposed end they've left on there, and then we're going to use the Scotch block connector. Okay. Right, now Gary's not seen one of these before, so I just explained to him. So this is going to form a bridge between the two wires. Now on our car, this green and white wire that goes up to this white plug here is ignition live, which is what we want. So I'm going to put that all the way in there, and and then I'm going to get the red wire. Okay. I don't know how this is going to work on video. I'll try my best to do it. You got something where we can see there, Gary?
Yeah, I can see.
Alright, so I've got that all in situ. Now I'm going to use a pair of pliers to force that little metal blade. Now a lot of people will be going, oh, Scotch blocks is dodgy, it's what the Bodger boys use. And they're not far wrong. You could solder it if you're a super pro. But it's only for your gear change. It's not like it's for anything your gear change is important, but it's only for your paddle shift gear change. And it's out the way under there. There's no water. If you do that under the car, you're asking for trouble, or under the engine bay, really. But in here, it's all nice and dry. Nothing's going to give anything any trouble. Right, then we just need to get that little earth connector. What do we do with that, Gary? I left him on the table. Oh, he's here. Right, so what they seem worried about, where this alloy casing here is bolted to a bit of plastic there where my finger is, they're worried it's not earthed, and they're relying on this earthing on this little connector here. So what they've obviously decided to do is we need to put a separate earth to earth all this, which is, I can understand that. So I'm going to route that under here again. Get them under here if we can. Right, we'll get a socket, and we'll put that on there. And then I'm going to go off the cigarette lighter earth there, and they've given us a little piggyback to do that. So me and Gary will get that done. Right, so we've bolted that on there, I've threaded it underneath this little bit here, and then on this cigarette lighter, if you pull the brown one, which is the earth, now I think I can then plug that one in there. That's it. Right, and then I've got an extra earth there. I'm going to spin that round so it's a bit further away from the positive. And then I can put that one on there. Right, and there we go. Look, so we haven't had to cut anything there. So in fact, we've done everything without cutting any wires, haven't we? It's all piggybacked in. The only one we've tapped into with a Scotch block is that green and white one. So I think we're ready now for you to put it all back together, Gary. I don't think there's any point in filming putting it back together. Remember to reconnect your cigarette lighter. You might forget that. Everything else, and we've got to get all these
connectors down here.
All those connectors back together. We'll get that one back in that clip that holds it on the underside. I'm going to leave Gary to get on with all that. And then we've got to put the trade plates on and take it for a test drive, I reckon.
Okay.
Right, we're in the Range Rover. We've got our trade plates on. Right. So we've got the paddle shifts there. Now, I don't know if I... So it's come up with a 3 there now, Gary. Can you see that? 3, 4... 3. Oh, it didn't like it. It didn't like it. It wanted to go back to.
Did you have to move the stick
gear
across?
changer? Let me just see. It's gone back to drive.
Yeah.
Let me try it again. So that's gone down to 3, but it didn't like it when I went up to 4. Oh yeah, it's doing it. But let's put it in, because I think if we put it over there, that is in sport mode. All right, let's have a look. So that's 4 now. All right, and let's go. Yeah, that's down to 3. Let's have a look how many revs we're doing. All we got. This is the petrol we can do. All right, let's go down to 2. Oh, we better be careful, or we'll be speeding. That's all right, isn't it, Gary?
Yeah.
Whoa! Yeah, we can play some games with that. The response is it all works. What can I say? So there we go, tested. I'll try and get some links. If we're not selling it, I'll get some links to where you can buy that from. If not, I'll put it on the website. If we can get it in stock, we'll do that. All right, good luck with that. Yeah, this one doesn't get out much, so we just give it a little rev, Gary. Oh, right. Right then. Don't. All right, let me get my seatbelt on, and then we'll let Gary test it, because we're looking all right, Gary.
Yeah, we're good.
Remember, stay legal, stay safe.
Yeah, so we're in driver's mode and let it do it itself.
Yeah, it'll just do whatever it wants. Yeah, let it do it. Yeah, you can see the revs changing. It's doing whatever it wants now. But yeah, if you click it over into sport mode.
So we're in sport. So can we drop it down?
5, yeah, drop it down.
We're in 3rd.
There.
2nd.
Careful with my sign on the back door, Gary.
Yeah.
We're not too much acceleration. That's only just precarious. It's still there. It's still there. Keep it smooth. Yeah, so there we go. Even tested by Gary. Oh, one thing I wanted to add is we've had some comments about Land Rover reliability, and I understand why, but I just want to point out that this Range Rover 2005, I'm doing quick maths here, so it's 16 years old, and it's done 217,000 miles, as you can see, and it drives nice, isn't it, Gary? It is proper solid. It's tight. It's not wandering. It's not smoking. So there we go. These good old Land Rovers, I know they have their issues from time to time, but you look after them, they can do the mileage. Right, hope you enjoy that.